Hello, 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 and welcome to Passionately Intrigued Arts. And this is Tracy. How is everyone doing? Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. I want to make today a flask, uh, King Things drinkware. It's a flask, and it's a cigar band flask. And I've made one, and I've sold a few, but I have an order for a couple more. But I keep this one as a sample, so I just want to show that to you before I get started. And so they'll never be the same bands. I just use what I have. So I have to create two of these, and I want to bring you on and show you my process. I've cleaned the flask. I've sanded them down to kind of give a rough surface, and then I clean them off with alcohol. And I just this is a P80, so it's a medium course, and I just sand it all over. So I did both of them like that, and I cleaned them off with alcohol. I'm going to start on this side because I'll have to put the labels on, and I put them on with Mod Podge. Well, you can use any kind of Mod Podge because what we're doing is just trying to adhere the label to the steel. So I'm going to start with this side, but what I have to start doing first, and I'm not going to do it all on camera, but I just want to let you know. So I have a variety of cigar labels here. I'll have to get my scissors out and get these trimmed up. And what I mean by that is, so first I either do the bottom of this and the top where we have straight lines. And so I'll find cigar labels that are just straight across, just like this. But I like to, like, as far as cleaning some of these up, what I'm saying is, let me find something to show you. Well, most of them are pretty good. Okay, here's one. They're just simple. Just like this here, I would probably cut that little tab off right there. I would cut that off. I wouldn't want that on there. That's a poor example, though. Here's another one. Like this label here. I would cut that off. So I need to get these, I want to have them prepped before I get started so that I'm not having to cut off while I'm using glue. You know, while I have my hands in glue and whatnot. So I'm just going to go through some of these. And I probably need to put a few more out so I can have variety. Like, see this one. If I put this one down, I would cover it. I would either cut this off before I put it down, or if I put it down, I would cover the top of this with a different label. So more than likely, I would cut that off. So let me quit babbling. Okay, I shall be back after I pick and choose and clean up. So I've got everything separated. These are the straight edged ones. I just put them all in here. And these are the other decorative ones. And why they're not straight edged, you know, they have different shapes. So I've got my Mod Podge poured. Let me make sure I say that right. Mod Podge. And let me just move this up and move this right here. Get my gloves back on. And get started here with the straight bands. And what I think I'm going to do is line the top edge first. So how I start out, get some Mod Podge on here and just put some on here and even on the edges. And then I'll find a straight edge. Okay, let's just start with this one. And so what I'll do, because they're different thicknesses. Some are thick, some are thin. So some require more glue. But what I do, I put some on the top of it. So I'm kind of like soaking it. Then I put some on the bottom. And then I'm going to come around that edge and just place this one. And try to, and I can clean this glue up that dries off. I can clean it up afterwards. And just try and straighten that out. And I got paper towels and a wet rag. Straighten that out and then just go over it with some more Mod Podge. That's one down. Find another one. I love this pretty blue acid. These are one of my favorite cigars. So I'm and this one's wider, so I'm gonna put a little more Mod Podge on here. Come around that edge, and then cover the back. Flip it over, cover the front. Line it up. I want this edge to be straight right here. Line it up. And then actually, I didn't have any Mod Podge as far as this one goes, so I'm going to stick some Mod Podge underneath here and just paint that down. And if you just keep using your brush to push it down, you know, because these are curved every which way and they're stiff. So sometimes they're a little hard to stay on here. So let me get it back lined up. More glue on here. Mod Podge. Adhesive. And find another one. And I try to make sure that I don't put them on upside down. I'll do this little red one. It's messy. Yep, it's messy. Then I'll just cover the edge of that first one that I put down. And these labels are beautiful. A lot of them are really vibrant, and that gold really sticks out. Now this thing shaking is going to work my nerves on this metal. Hold on. Let's see if this will help. Yeah. Okay, let me find another one. That's pretty. Just keep working. It's like filling in a puzzle, kind of, sort of. How you want to make the puzzle. Now sometimes you can go up under and lift them to fit one up underneath if it looks like it's going to look better, that rather than placing it over the top of everything. Let's see how that's going to look. Maybe I'll put it on this side. And always keep a damp rag by you because, you know, the glue is constantly on your gloves. And you constantly have to pick this up. So you see how that doesn't want to stick, so you just keep brushing it. Brush over it, brush over it. To lay it down. Then I'll come around this way, put a little bit underneath, and then come around. This is a really, really pretty one. And I kind of want it down here somewhere so it can stand out. Is it upside down? No, but I'm going to put a few more right in here so I can have that one at the bottom, but on top of these other ones. So let me kind of find a kind of small one. Let's see how this one's going to do. Let's try this. It's Ashton. And then some of these cigars even have ribbon wraps. So those are good for fillers. me see, what am I going to do for the side? I can use this one. So this is kind of a tore off one. If I bring it around this way, then it can be covered up with something else on that side. It's given a good contrast of colors. Let me put it up in the camera for you. It's really beautiful. So now I'm going to put this one on top, here down at the bottom. And that's going to cover most of this. And I don't have to center it. I can pull it to the side some. I should have put on an apron too, because I'm slinging glue everywhere. See, I'm going to need a straight one right here. So I'm not going to put that down too firmly. I'm going to put some straight ones across here so that it covers this little space. And you can lift back up on these. So let me find a straight one. Straight thin one. Maduro. And it's pretty. It's got gold in it. So let me do this one. I'm going to lift up on this one and put some more glue underneath across here. And put it underneath and across. Hopefully in a straight line. Now let me put a little more right here because I have to cover this area that's missing a label. Find a label and put it right there, or a piece of label. And if you find that it starts to bubble or lift up, just get some more Mod Podge and go back and forth with a little pressure. Okay, what do I want to use? Let's use this silver one. And I'm probably going to lift this up to put it underneath. Lift that up. Make sure this is not upside down. And lay this up under. Because I'm trying not to cover this one up. This one is so pretty. I want it to show. Gotta push it in a little bit further. There we go. Then just push it back down with some more glue. Then I'm going to swing around, put some glue here, and paint that down. Now you see how that acid one is lifting? Oh, it's lifting bad. All the way around. And I may be taking that off. I don't want no problems because I'm going to, after this is completely dry, I'm going to put another coat of this Mod Podge on here and let it dry again. And then I will be covering these with epoxy resin. I don't want no problems. I'm taking acid off because it's not laying right for me. Well, I'm going to take a piece of acid off. I can't get the whole thing off. And I can find something else to cover that with. I like this red one. Ear of the dog. Let me wrap that one around. It's a little messy, but it is rewarding. They turn out beautifully. Here, and it's going to wrap around because this is kind of long, but I want to get that edge straight. Let's see, Year of the Dog. And, wow, can I fit it under here? Nope, that's going to be a straight line. I don't way too long and it's dried out, but I want to lift this up and fit it underneath this one. So just lift on it a little bit. It's almost dry. Put a little more Mod Podge under there. Put some more on here. Let's see if I can get that corner under there. And yes, you can use your fingers to smooth as well. Okay, so I need a little one right here. A little piece of something. I don't like the flat edges. I don't like the edge like that. I need to fit this under. Let's slide that under. Let me put some glue on it. No. Okay, yeah, I did fine. For some reason, camera stopped recording. So the only thing I was doing, I was working on this top part here. I got that down, and then I actually put a few more coming around here. So I'm leaving this here to dry. It's not quite dry. And get started on this one. I think I have a different strategy, kind of sort of for this one. And I'm going to do these straight labels here and then kind of fill it in with some labels that I have quite a few duplicates with, and then place on top of those so that I don't have openings underneath. I'm just going to speed through this process. It is the same as the first flask, just showing you the steps that I took and picking out different cigar labels, cigar bands to create this one. I'll just keep going full speed ahead until I get to the next step. I went ahead and completed these with the cigar bands, applying them with the Mod Podge. So here's one, the front and the back. And then I put another coat of Mod Podge on after the first coat dried. So this is one, and then this is the other. And then I also, while I was at it, I made this, what is this called? A lowball tumbler. And I wanted to make this for my friend who gifted me all of these, most of these cigar bands. So I just wanted to make something for her to show my appreciation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do one at a time, and I'm going to do one side at a time. And I'm going to apply the UV. I'm going to use UV resin, and I'll be using the Best Unis UV resin. I'm going to do one side at a time, and the sun is shining. So I'm going to put it outside. When I get through, I'm going to see if the sun rays will help me cure this. And then once this is cured, I'm going to flip it over, them over, and do the other side and do the same thing while the sun is out and bright. We're going to see how that works. If it doesn't, it usually does, but it's cold outside, so I don't know how it works in the cold. If it doesn't, then I'll bring out my lamp and cure these with my UV lamp. So I'm just going to start to apply. Let me see, can I sit there without it falling over? Apply the UV resin, just a thin coat, because I'll be doing a couple coats. And I'm doing a thin coat because I don't want it, I'm doing one side at a time and I don't want it to like have drips here. I don't want to do any sanding or anything like that. So what I'll do is come up just over the rim of these cigar labels right here at the top so that it's actually seals that label to the flask in case, you know, when they wash this, it doesn't, when they hand wash this, it doesn't, you know, water doesn't get up under the labels. So I just want to make sure that I put that layer right over this seal or two. And I'm going to do that both times. Every time I put a coat of resin on here, I'm going to make sure I get that top part covered really good. And then I'm just going to go from side to side with a thin layer of this UV resin. And the resin really enhances the color and the vibrancy of these labels. It really makes the gold and silvers pop and the colors pop. And then when I get down here to the bottom, I'll do the same thing with the edge of that label to make sure that it is sealed to the metal. Now I'll just go up and down, go the opposite way, spreading out the resin evenly as possible. And to make sure I have full coverage, that I have touched every spot here. Layer is done. Let me do the other one. And then I'll place these out in the sun while I have sunshine. Okay, those are done. I'm going to place them outside, see how they cure, come back, flip them over, do the other side. And in the meantime, while that's taking place, I'm going to work on the lowball tumbler. Just wanted to show you how bright it is out here. I've just set these on the ledge of my rail, my porch rail. The sun is bright. I'll leave them out here, I don't know how long. Maybe up to 20 minutes, I'm not sure. I'll come and check on them and see how that's working. I checked on these and they are cured on this side. And they've only been out there maybe 10 minutes. So I'm going to flip this over and do the other side. And then take them back out in the sun. Everybody, I think this video has finally come to a close. I tried that etching on the bottom of these flags so that I could brand them with my name. I don't know what this steel is, this metal is. It would not etch. I left it on there for over a half hour and it wouldn't come out. So I sanded one and sanded it real good. Tried the etching cream again for another half hour. It would not etch. So I got out my handy dandy engraver and just engraved. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but I engraved on there. And so these are done. They are beautiful. They turned out great. And I am all done and ready to contact the customer. Package them up. Here's the other one. And thank you so much for watching. I tried to edit this down as far as I could. I appreciate you all. Peace and love. That way, and I'm out. Be blessed. Thank you so much. And here is the beautiful lowball tumbler that I made for the so generous, beautiful lady who gifted me most of these cigar bands.